Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host Rickhead, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, he's the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV. Lance, what's shaking?
Not much. I regret to inform everyone there will be no rant on my part, but since I can feel it coming, Joe's complaint email is joe@skolensandstrom.com.
God damn, I didn't even say anything yet. He just
Come on,
getting it
Joe,
out
he's
all
just
the way
predicting the
from-
obvious. And of
Yeah.
course, we have the Lord Skelter himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's shaking?
Nothing much, though. At least it's starting to warm up over here. We went from -2 on Friday, -5 on Saturday, to almost 50 degrees. Now, I wish the goddamn government would stop playing with their weather dominator.
No kidding, no kidding. All right, well, let's start things off with apparently Tony Khan spoke with TV Insider where he announced that he'll be relaunching Ring of Honor's streaming service, The Honor Club, for $9.95 a month. The Honor Club will not only have weekly shows and pay-per-views, it will also have the entire Ring of Honor library. So for the past 20 years, any matches you've ever wanted to see, you name it, all the classics, those who's talked about working Ring of Honor. People like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Moxley, and many, many others who have worked in that, cult favorite promotion that really didn't get a lot of focus because unfortunately it never got on network TV. But now, Tony Khan didn't really give a date for when this weekly show, Ring of Honor's weekly show, will start, but he said it will be at the top of the year, 2023. Joe, what do you think about this new Honor Club, and could this show finally shine a light on Ring of Honor?
It's a good idea. It obviously works for Vince with NXT. Honestly, I think it's a great idea. He's profiting off a company he bought, and why wouldn't you? It makes a lot of fucking sense. And not only is there footage of the former AEW, well, should I say current AEW stars that used to be in Ring of Honor, there are also former WWE folks in there. So it makes a lot of sense to build this network and profit off of whatever video libraries you have. I know as far as Ring of Honor was concerned, they never got a major television deal, but they had like local stuff. They had a lot of the Comcast that was in New Jersey and a couple little states, but nothing major. So this is a good idea. Now, what I question, Rick, is he going to do the same thing for AEW? I know they have their television contracts, but wouldn't it also make sense to do something for other little, like maybe separate videos that they can possibly do?
I was actually thinking about that when I saw the Honor Club package, and right now, I don't think he would even if he could. Because of right now, look at it, pay-per-views, people are paying for the pay-per-views. He's making money on that pay-per-view. So right now, making money is what he needs to do. I think it's when he starts doing more pay-per-views, he kind of pulls a Vince McMahon and starts doing that, and it's like every other month, or if not every month, that's when he's going to have to make that decision to say, hey, because he's going to see those sales go way down. Lance, what's your thoughts on all this?
Well, I guess now we have the ROH network, if you will, which, you know what, if it brings more eyes to the product, cool. But Tony Khan has said eventually he wants to do a AEW network type deal, but right now is not the right time to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, the pay-per-views are only like, 4, maybe 5 times a year, if that. And you know what? They may be pricey, but they're like a 5-6 hour show. And for me, that's worth it. Yeah. I have yet to be let down on a pay-per-view. I've yet to walk away from any of that pay-per-views and say, you know what, that pay-per-view sucked. Unfortunately, with WWE, I can say that quite more often than not. So let's move along. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE is considering changing their wellness policy. As you all know, for a long time, they had a three strike rule. If you failed the wellness policy 3 times, you were gone from the company. But apparently now that may no longer be the case because there are a couple of key people who have had suspensions, and right now with all the wrestling war going on, plus somebody else could want to use that three strike rule to intentionally get out of their contract. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Well, and you know what? A lot of talent have used that for, and not even pretty much even in the past. Recently, I was going over a couple of old Jim Cornette stuff and on kayfabe commentaries, and he did say that situation was even back in the day when Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson were looking to leave the company, and Tully purposely failed the wellness program so he can get out of it, so he can head back to obviously the NWA WCW. But and with shenanigans and Jim Herd, that didn't happen. But yeah, over the years, we've seen people like fail wellness policies hide out for a bit and then come back automatically as, you know, use that little bit of time out, you could say, to kind of cheat their way out to get out of a contract. So I wouldn't be surprised that now, given that there is a wrestling war again, and it's sad, nobody could get along. Vince should, or should I say, WWE should just be happy there's competition where they can improve their product. Lord knows their product needs improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though that Triple H has changed a lot of things, brought back some people, and even the roster and the people on the back are saying that morale is still at an all-time high since Vince left, but there's still a lot of stuff that really needs to be changed, at least in my eyes. Lance, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it depends on probably what the violation is, but honestly, 3 strikes. Actually, I heard it was corporate confirmed it that the 3 strike thing is no longer in effect. So smoke them if you got them if you're on the main roster.
Well, I'm not really sure if marijuana is actually a no-no nowadays, considering it's legal. But that would be an interesting topic. I wonder if that how that would apply.
I think it goes by, if you look at it, Rick, it goes by case to case scenario. Like if you're allowed to smoke it, for medical reasons, let's put it that way. But if you come to work all freaking high, like high in the sky, that you're like freaking old Slipper Boy himself, Riddle, then obviously that's where the problem's gonna end up being. So I think I wouldn't think they would care if it was marginally small, because it can go unnoticed. But when you're really digging in deep and you're coming in there like fucking super stone, like, dude, look at the colors, man. That's when I think they will have to intervene and says, oh, yep, you're not staying.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Now, there's more talks of The Rock that people apparently would think that he'll appear at the Royal Rumble, who will win it, and then, of course, eventually go on to face Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania. However, there's still no guarantee that Rock will be available. According to reports, WWE already has a plan B, which is Cody Rhodes will make the return at Royal Rumble, who will eventually win and then go face Roman Reigns. But you know what, guys? When it comes to Royal Rumble's always been a big mystery because they always have surprise people showing up. Whether it be, like in the past, they've had Stone Cold just show up. We've seen John Cena come back from an injury, unannounced years ago. And right now, also, there's even other rumors about Kairi Sane possibly even showing up for the Women's Royal Rumble. Although right now that's more rumors because, according to the Observer, there's been no contact between WWE or Stardom, where she works at. So, Lance, I'm gonna check this over to you.
Well, okay, it's almost a given. Cody's back at Rumble. Now, Rock, how I think it's going to go, Cody's going to win, and then leading up to Mania, there's going to be some sort of a challenge between Rock and Roman. Night one will probably be Roman Rock. Night two of Mania will be Cody Roman, where Cody will pick up the belt.
That's interesting because in the past we have seen two title opportunities, but right now Roman has both of them. Joe, you think you see Roman Reigns pulling double time?
No, but I could see something happen prior to Rumble. Maybe Cody gets his shot at Rumble. And right now there is talk about separating the titles once again. And here's the possibility. He doesn't have to defend both belts. Remember, he is an undisputed world champion, or however they want to call it, but he still has two belts. So technically, Paul Heyman can pull off a shenanigan and says, no, you're fighting for one belt. You're fighting for the world title. Yeah, you're not going to fight for both belts. And I could see him convince, plot-wise, convince Roman Reigns, what doesn't take much to convince him, to do stuff. Hell, it's easy to convince the Usos. Just give them a couple of drinks and tell them, here, drive.
Hell yes.
So I think they're going to separate the titles and do some shenanigans where they're going to say, okay, no, Roman's going to defend the world title because to them it's a lesser belt. And Cody will probably win that. And that will set up a double night where Cody could take on Seth Rollins for that title. And then Rock can win the Royal Rumble and meet Roman for the Universal title down at Mania. So imagine that. You have two titles now on two different nights. That's going to be a bigger attraction than seeing one guy hold both belts. With the talent, Rick, that they got now, they really don't have that strong roster to build this product. It would have been better just to keep the belts intertwined, but let's face it, Roman's not active as much as he used to. He's smart. He's not going to keep injuring himself. There's really not as much talent out there to fight him, supposedly, for a title. So, I think them separating the titles will give Cody that world title win that his father never did in WWF. So that will be a feather in his cap, and then give Roman the win over The Rock to finally cement the tribal chief.
Okay, so you've already talked about how there's nobody else, aside from maybe Cody Rhodes, that can stand up to Roman Reigns, and you're saying let Roman Reigns win. But now here's another thing I can't get out of my head. Let's say hypothetically The Rock does show up at the Rumble. He's not going to be showing up every night for Raw. He'll show maybe sporadic appearances here and then. Of course, when it comes to WrestleMania, he goes on, he faces Roman Reigns, and let's say if he wins, what the hell is he going to do with the title? How long is he going to stand around? Is he just going to pull like a Brock Lesnar and say, okay, I'll be back in 6 months?
No, see, that's different. That's why I don't see him winning. I see them going head to head, doing a hell of a great match, and then from there moving on to like, all right, you know what? Roman says thanks for, whatever, for passing the torch, you could say. Rock is like, you're a good worker or whatever. You're not going to see both men suffer a big loss.
Okay.
I don't see them really passing the belt to The Rock because, like you said, he's a part-timer. When the paycheck is good, then he'll do it. Otherwise, no. So in this case, honestly, I think they're gonna build it up like, I was the tribal chief before there was such a thing as a tribal chief. Oh, can you smell The Rock? This smells cooking and coconuts and pineapples and all that shit. That they're gonna get it over. Like he's the original. He's the in actuality, no disrespect to the Samoans, no disrespect to Rocky Johnson, to anybody else in the Inouye family, Rikishi, what was Umaga, or everybody else. But The Rock is the symbol. He is the icon of that family because he's done more than all of them have ever done. So Roman hasn't really got to that level. Has he won titles? He's been given titles, folks. Nobody wins titles. So he was given belts. He's had one or two maybe short appearances in movies, but The Rock is the icon for doing it all. So I think putting him at WrestleMania, winning the Royal Rumble, getting into that match with Roman, and then losing gracefully, like in a nice, like what Hogan and him did back at the one WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 18.
Right. And they'll do that, and boom, makes it look good. Passes the torch to Roman. Roman, either he gets graceful, humble about it, or he could be the arrogant ass and pummel the Rock. And another 6 months go by, maybe Rock returns for SummerSlam.
All right, Lance, you have anything else you want to talk about the subject?
Well, thank God Roman has Paul Heyman, because let's face it, Mike skill versus Mike skill.
Yeah.
Roman can't hang with Dwayne.
That's true. That's very true.
Paul can. Roman can't.
Fair point. But let's talk about these other rumors that are supposedly happening, appearances, or let's talk about John Cena. He's supposed to be coming in. There's also rumors about Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's supposed to be showing up the Royal Rumble. Now, do I see Cena making an appearance? Maybe. As a host, maybe. But I don't see him jumping in the ring, let alone Steve Austin. Again, Steve Austin, could I see him showing up to, lift up the show? Absolutely. What do you take on those, Lance?
Okay, for one, if Austin does have a match in 2023, I guarantee it will not be in the Royal Rumble. Because, let's face it, Stone Cold is getting up there in age, and he has a bunch of health problems, so it's going to take a while for him to get physically ready for said match. It'll probably be at Mania. And if John Cena enters the Rumble, can he snap his ankle like that one time?
Yeah, no kidding. Joe, your thoughts on Cena and Stone Cold possibly appearing at the Rumble?
Well, I can see Cena appear, and I can actually see Stone Cold appear in it. You got to remember, Royal Rumbles, while you can get injured, it's not really a singles match. You go in there, throw a couple haymakers, battles in the corner to avoid being eliminated. But overall, it's pretty much an easy night. He's not going to do 50 stunners. He can do it. Let's not take that away. He could do it. But the Rumble's a good place for him. One thing you guys got to look at too. This is about bringing the company under this new leadership in a new year back forward. Like, yes, they still are the attention grabbers. Yes, they have live TV. Yes, people know them more than AEW to some extent, but they're still in direct competition. So what they gotta do is we gotta stuff a card. We gotta build up WrestleMania. We have to get WrestleMania over for 2 nights, and we gotta get as much button seats and much people to watch this product.
Okay.
Pay for Peacock so they can get their money out of that. So here's how it works. Obviously, it's going to come down to Stone Cold doesn't have to be number 1 or number 10. He could be number 27, 28. And imagine The Rock is number 15 or 20. These legends are not going to be number 1. They're not going to be early. They're going to be late to build it up. All the jabronis are going to get out of the ring. They're going to get eliminated. They're going to get their shit in. They're going to do that. But overall, you're not going to see them do a lot of the jabronis are going to get a lot of the bumps in. Then after that, you're going to see literally the main guys start showing up. Maybe number 25, Cena. Number 27, Stone Cold. Number 30, The Rock. You're going to see a lot of these guys come in late so they can build up that match. And can you imagine Here, Stone Cold, The Rock bump into each other. Boom. Oh shit, they haven't bumped into each other to fight for I don't know how long.
It's
And
been
you
over a
can
decade at least.
Yeah.
exactly. So can you imagine them two do the bump? They turn around, stare at one another. Everybody's on the floor in the corners watching these two icons. Next thing The Rock goes, "Bring it," with his hand. Just do the motion, bring it. Austin gives him the double fingers, and they start slugging it out again now. And then, boom, more people come in, interfere. I could see, Kevin Owens get Austin a stun hit, give him the stunner, and throw him out, and Austin and him tumble outside. So that's how you eliminate Austin. Then Rock just finish it off. Cena will probably be eliminated by whoever. Bray Wyatt, I'm just saying, but that's how you build it. So like that, it looks good. Or maybe Cody is in there, and maybe Cody gets that, after his match or whatever. If he actually does the singles match for a world title, you bring him in there, and he can do that match as well. So you got a lot of the credible people that can come in, that can do these matches late in the match to build up to suspense. Guys, we all know when it starts hitting that number 20 to the last 10 people, we're at the edge of our seats because we already know 20 and down is all the pieces of garbage that can't do anything. They can't talk. They can't fucking do this shit. They're good workers, but they're not the icons. Once you hit 20 and up, oh yeah, Cena's, Rocks, Stone Colds are all going to be there. Look, Brock Lesnar, all of these people can be in there late because they're not going to be around. That's the smart play, and that's how you build up your WrestleMania card. And you get that iconic Austin and Rock once more, and they don't even have to really touch. Just seeing them look at each other, do the hand gestures. Everybody, all the marks will be popping. And then after that, boom, everybody gets involved before they actually touch. So boom, 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 and that's the smart way to do it. And in my opinion, that's how you build up for WrestleMania. You're not going to see Stone Cold back, but you're going to see him maybe say, like he injures his knee. They can say that, and he's running now. He's the host of WrestleMania, and he could screw Kevin Owens or whoever from getting their shot. So that again, it's entertainment first, and this is a smart way of doing it. And I think, Rick, that's how possibly, in my opinion, that's how I would book it.
All right. I also want to talk about.
I just timed myself too. That was about 3 or 4 minute rant.
Yes, I realized that. I'm like sitting there waiting. I'm like looking. I'm like, okay, come on. Well, I wanted to talk about the rumor on Kairi Sane coming to the women's roster. Although right now it's not confirmed. Apparently she is still working at Stardom, and apparently there's been, according to Dave Meltzer, there's been no contact between WWE or Stardom. So, Lance, let me talk. What do you think about this situation?
Well, I'm just going to put it like this: when people come to the WWE from Japan, they usually suffer a mysterious back injury before they come to WWE. Since we hadn't heard anything about Kairi Sane getting a back injury again, I kind of doubt it.
All right, fair enough. All right, you know what? We're going to move on here. As many of you know, Shawn Spears has not been seen on AEW TV for several weeks, as he and his wife, Cassie Lee, also previously known as Peyton Royce in WWE, are expecting their first son. And AEW asked a fan on Twitter, will the chairman return? Spears quickly responded and said, don't hold your breath, I'm not going back there anytime soon. Now, at first, it would sound like he was, upset with the company, or he had better offers or doing something else. But before the show, I actually went on Cassie Lee's Instagram page, and I saw her do a video about how she was trying to get a kid, trying to get pregnant, and she went through 15 or 16 or even 20 times the pregnancy test and failed until finally it came true. So when you, I mean, when you have a person who has hard with fertility issues, I'm guessing that he's gonna Sean Spears is gonna want to be by her side the entire way. I don't know about you, Joe. What's your take on this?
Well, definitely he wants to be by her side. And obviously he's probably granted his vacation time. So I think, whenever you have to take so many fertility pills and go to procedures, that makes you having a kid very, very difficult. Any step of the way you can lose a child. You can injure yourself. So I think honestly he wants to be by her side to make sure nothing happens. Now it is 9 months, but those precious first months are what counts. So he probably got a temporary release, or maybe he's got a reduced contract that he can, you know, not get paid and maybe stay and deal with his wife, medical leave, let's call it like that, and just deal with. I think he's doing a smart thing. Plus, right now AEW doesn't have anything for him. He was really active when he was with Tully Blanchard and the group that they were with MJF. He was really close with Warlow and FTR and all that. So, I think right now it's a refresher. He needs to get away so they can literally come up with something, even when he's ready to come back, that he can have something for him to do, Rick, because I don't think they really had anything for him.
You know what? You're right. Unfortunately, AEW had stockpiled the roster that even when the early guys were coming in and starting making big names, they started getting pushed aside. You have people like Bryan Danielson. You had CM Punk. John Moxley was already there, but all these other guys just keep on coming in, and they have to take the spotlight. Saraya, even though she's not really wrestled a lot, she has to take up TV time. So what does that do to the younger guys? It just pushes them down, and I can understand why some of them would be pissed off and saying, what the fuck? You asked me to come here and made all these promises, and I come up with nothing but empty promises.
Well, I feel like this. They end up leaving the land of the WWE just to go to WWE Light 2.0.
Exactly. Lance, what's your take on that?
Well, let's face it, Saraya's tapping something else, but anyway, yeah. When they start doing that shit, it reminds me of the dying days of WCW.
Yeah, I think even Eric Bischoff, who's no one to talk. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, I said that, Lance. Thank you very much for saying that, because since they got Saraya, since they got people that are worthless for the company, they're taking too much spots from these other guys who. I didn't mind Sean Spears. I liked the gimmick. Yeah. I think it was working. I think him having Tully Blanchard in his corner was giving vibes of a Four Horsemen type deal. And they just blew that away because they wanted Punk, Daniels, and whoever else they grabbed from the WWE. So, but yeah, let's hear from what Eric Bischoff said, the guy who did the same thing in WCW.
Well, in short, he just said, Tony Khan's just, a kid in a sandbox with, playing, making all these special toys he wants, and, because he has all this money, he can sign whoever he wants, and he just uses them. And, I mean,
really,
honestly,
Eric?
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
Eric? Yeah.
I mean, I think Bischoff is truly a hater against AEW because he's like, I did that. Wait, I did that. The only difference is they're not failing yet.
Well, I beat the WWE in 83 weeks.
Yeah, that's even the name of his fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, no bitterness there, right? He's just telling it like it is.
Then again, he also said Ric Flair never drew a dime.
Uh, and then he also, on a recent podcast, he also said, I don't know why our relationship between Ric Flair and myself deteriorated so quickly. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Bischoff's suffering from dementia. Could I be wrong?
Well, possible.
No, he suffers from what every politician does. It's called selective memory. You only want to remember certain things.
Oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
in Joe Biden's case, he doesn't remember anything.
Or he might be having withdrawals from kissing Hulk Hogan's ass.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Brother.
Let's move along to our final topic. For several weeks, we've seen Rick Ross make sporadic appearances on Dynamite. As right now, he's pretty much working mostly with Keith Lee and Big Swerve as their relationship is starting to deteriorate. So last week on Dynamite, Ross mediated between the conversation between Ross and Swerve and Lee. And during the segment, Ross told Keith Lee that he was a bad motherfucker. Now, despite his choice of words, Ross stated that there is a good chance you'll be seeing him again soon. And I quote, "It's a good chance you'll see me in AEW again. We'll get more gifts. I like Tony Khan. He's a cool motherfucker." Apparently, motherfucker is like, his prime word, Joe.
Yeah, because Lord knows he loves fucking his mother. So.
Oh, Jesus.
No, who is this guy really? Who the fuck is he?
I have no idea. I don't like rap, so.
He's some fucking big, worthless piece of shit. Probably a rapper who probably doesn't have an education. The only reason he's probably in the fucking business because he can do nursery rhymes with curse words. And here we go with the rant, Lance. You can hit them in the email in a bit, but
That's Joe at goldenstrom.com.
Thank you. You have this worthless individual who thinks he's a two-rate Mr. T, who fucking can't do, who only claim the fame is probably fucking rap, that doesn't take any ounce of intelligence to understand. Your IQ must be low. And here he is constantly spouting motherfucker. Now I say motherfucker and I say fucking fuck you every chance I get. But under a network television deal, you don't say that shit because you can get easily taken off television. That's what you don't do. There's certain words you can get by.
Maybe he's working for the McMahons,
Yeah. Oh, he's working for the McDonald's because that's probably his IQ level. Yo, you want fries with that? Yo, it's crime time,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But this dude should go back to fucking his mother and leave wrestling business to wrestling, to the professionals, not some two-bit rapper who's. I'm sure Jim Ross is probably saying, "Oh God, no! Why do he have to have my name?" Because Rick Rolls doesn't go off your tongue, and every time you say his name, he's rolling something all right to smoke it. God, I hate rap and I hate the people involved in it. They should literally not. They should ban these people from any sort of any. They should ban these people directly from any sort of mic. If you're doing rap and you want to appease for the mental cases, go ahead, do it. Do it on your own. Don't bring it to the wrestling venue because they have mental problems as it is. We don't need additional problems with some piece of shit that wants to get his 2 minutes of fame because he can't sell a stogie. Thank you. Fuck you. Goodbye.
All right, Lance, over to you.
How do you follow that?
I have no idea, but you know what? Give it a try.
Maybe the dude's fucking his father too. Maybe he's a father fucker too.
Oh,
father
Jesus.
fucker. Damn. No, you think about it. Piece of shit. Come on now. What significance does this piece of shit can offer to professional wrestling? 1 or 2 views? What has he done? Who is this individual? Is he a movie star? Is he some sort of fucking individual? Fuck, I'd rather see Ranger Ross than fucking see whatever this fucker's name is. I'd rather, for that, fucking, you know what? Put a mohawk. Maybe he could play Mr. T and fuck Mr. T in the ring. Then he'd be a T fucker.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Boss, so we still on the air. Have they
Yeah,
pulled
we're
us?
still
Oh,
on
well,
the
yeah,
air,
we're still in the air. So.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
they
still
hadn't
in the
pulled
air.
us yet.
I think. Yes, are we in the? Are we in there? I'm double checking everything.
Yeah.
You know what? And if YouTube has a problem with it, fuck you too.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, you know what? I think we're gonna end it with there. Uh, well,
He
guys,
has to end it with the motherfucker.
yeah, well, you know, I guess that's the best way to end it. You know, we wanna end it on a nice, way.
Oh,
So.
what night? Hold on. You know what? We still got a few minutes. We're gonna drag this shit out.
Okay, let's drag it out.
No, we're gonna drag this shit out because you know, it lets. I feel like we cheating the audience by going very slow, short time because and then I don't want to leave the fans with such a bad taste in their mouth with the last thing they hear from us or see from us for this week before we go into the new year is some fat black dude saying motherfucker. He should fuck his mother, or maybe he is. You know.
All right.
All right, so let's do this. Raw had his smallest audience ever, and still finished in the top 10 in cable. So, Rick, let's see here. Fans will sometimes speculate WWE has punted on an episode of Raw in the face of tough competition, which mostly was the Monday Night Football, the NFL, and it's really kicking ass, you know. But Raw had its lowest, rating of all time, a .27. So, is Raw really losing it?
Well,
Like,
this was I can tell you right now, Roloff, the problem was when it comes to that, it was the final year, the best of Raw for 2022, and those shows always suck. They are never great because it's all what you've seen before, and you know, I've never been. I mean, every time they do like the 25th anniversary or the year-end show, I just honestly skip it. And I'm not talking before I stopped watching it altogether. I just would say, okay, Lance, what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, this past Monday, I had it on, but it was kind of just something in the background because I knew it was just going to be, like you said, best of. You weren't going to see anybody actually in a live ring. It was basically videos. So, back in the day, Christmas and the day after Christmas was one of the biggest, uh, one of the biggest shows of the year. Now, granted, that was in the NWA and other territories, not really for the WF, but still.
okay.
Okay.
Now back to my rants. Speaking about putting balls, Nyla Rose.
Oh Jesus, here we go.
Here we go. Nyla Rose, Vicky Guerrero, and Maria Shafar, or Shafar. Wasn't that the bad guy in Aladdin?
Jafar.
No, Shafir.
Shafar?
Shafir.
Yeah, we definitely should feel her. Yeah. There had been going around trying to ask about possibly having an AEW Women's Tag Team title. Because let's face it, we have new champions. We have cross off. First of all, let's not even put Jade Cargill because she's on a hot streak. She's great as she is. She needs to keep getting better. Jamie Hayter, the best worker next to Britt Baker, is holding the women's title. And you just saw Athena win the Ring of Honor women's title. So those belts are off the table. So I think what these three are trying to do is, well, they need belts. Why not give it to these three people? I think that should not work. That's not going to work because one of them is a transgender. She's not a real female. So maybe it's a transgender championship they need to do. So, but Rick, anyway, they're petitioning to see if they can get a women's tag title. What do you think?
No. Women's tag as much they have the two women's titles, which is more than enough, especially in AEW. But women tag teams, I mean, come on, how many women tag teams are there in the company? Not many. I mean, you could say you could have Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, who's now the current women's champion. You could say if you wanted Jade Cargill and one of the baddies, that'd be fine, and then you could. The rest is just mix, makeshift tag teams, and makeshift tag teams never work, Joe. We've seen it before.
Oh, absolutely. You know, but in a sense, in a way, I'll say it this way: it does make sense for them because they don't have, you got people like these two who should not be nowhere reigning on a major title. So yeah, one that's already had her time in the sun, or it had its title reigns, which was not necessary. So obviously, what they need to do is come up with another title just to satisfy, this dumb thing and her partner. Me personally, Marina Shafif or whatever, Javar doesn't really. I think she should stay in MMA and that's it because she's good for that. No doubt about that. Um, but there's really nothing else these two can do that deserve. In fact, they should just leave AEW and go maybe head over to MMA. I would love to see Nyla Rose get her ass kicked by a legitimate woman that can beat her ass. And then probably go for another sex change and become a midget because you can't beat the males and females.
Oh, Jesus. Lance, over to you.
Don't get me into this shit.
Oh, I guess you want. Oh, really? Wow. Just leave me hanging high and dry.
He's leaving
well, I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. If they do have a women's tag belts, here's an idea. Have them only defended on Dark and Elevation. That way, people that like women's tag wrestling, it's a quick way to draw them to that product.
Not a bad idea.
Oh, that's a good idea, Lance.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I don't see the need for it because there's so many other titles right now in this company as it is, and they only have 3 hours.
But then the thing is, Rick, they only have made more titles for the men. Women's have 2 world titles, and not even both are world titles. One's a world title, and the other one is just a secondary title.
You're basically a TV belt.
Right. So, and that's what Jade Cargill, who's been dominant, has been holding on to. We saw, you saw out of these two that they can't wrestle for shit. So, and I think in a sense, possibly Saraya teaming up with someone who actually work and carry her could win that title. It keeps the lower mid card to lower bottom girls, keeps them out of the major limelight at the same time. I think it does help them because they are holding a championship that they can defend on, like Lance said, Dark and Elevation. I think that boosts that. Maybe that could be an AEW Dark tag team title, women's tag title, and they do bring in a lot of independent women, indie women from all over that could actually get in there and say, yeah, we're a tag team. And that might even bring women's tag team. Can you imagine the Iconics?
Oh, God. No, not anytime soon, considering that Cassie Lee is going to be expecting, and I don't think she's going to be, jumping right back in the ring anytime soon.
See, Cassie Lee, she has a problem having kids. She should have went to the school of Paige, where if you cream a lot, maybe, or you're
come on, man, dude. Oh, Jesus. Come on, Joe. I know you're trying to find a new low every time we get on the show, but come on. Even I'm starting to be like, okay, dude, you're crossing the line there.
Joe at StoldernStrom.com.
Well, what is it? Like, yeah, that's the only good thing Saraya can do. So maybe Cassie Lee can learn from that. Like,
Well, unlike Saraya, Cassie Lee's, engaged to be married.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
And
Well,
she's way better looking than freaking Soraya.
oh, absolutely. She's a hottie. So, but you know what, guys? We are going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. We want to thank those who were listening in.
Who's left?
Yeah, who hasn't left yet? We had, well, excuse me. We had every week on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also check us out in the HWR chat room on YouTube, where we cover the latest news, rumors, and we also do play-by-plays for AEW Dynamite. I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, and of course, Joe, you're over at Skull Realms. Tell everybody about it.
Absolutely. You guys can check me out at Scoldress Realm. Do the hashtag Scoldress Realm. I am on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I play games from yesterday to today, retro to current, from PC to consoles. You could check me out. I did a big stream last night on Twitch, exclusively on Twitch, where a lot of people showed up just to see me play Sword to Court. So that's kind of the type of games also I play, indie games. And again, I want to say something real fast. We're coming to the end of the year. What I say, if mostly is for entertainment purposes, it's all in
Yeah,
fun.
sure. Back out now, Joe. Why can?
Yeah.
No, well, I'm trying to keep us
Asshole,
from
he
getting
did.
booted. I want to make sure it's good. But, here's the thing. Again, everybody, have a great new year, and please be safe out there. And remember, it's the government that's splitting us up.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Lance, you're Lance Moss TV. What do you got going on?
Right now, just every Tuesday night, Lance Moss TV and Friends Coffee Time. It's at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern. And if you had a problem with anything Joe said tonight, it's joe@explosionstrom.com.
And I'll say, fuck you and anything. Fuck them and whoever has an issue, because it is just entertainment. And go fuck your mother.
Okay. So, well, we'll hope you all have a wonderful new year, and we will see you in 2023.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say yes and go fuck your mother.
No, I'll say that after you go off the air. Oh, shit. I left that out.
Yeah,
Good night, all.
Good night.